Hello, it's Sarah from Imagination Living, and today I thought I would do a video of martinis and gardening. Two of my favorite things, and I am obsessed with the perfect martini as well as growing my own food. So I figured, why not make a video about some of the things that I've learned about both. So here we go. Full disclosure, we have been outside working today. It's Easter Sunday. Happy Easter, everybody. And I went on a run. So this is not my normal look, but it's what I really look like. So there you go. We went to the Pine Island Nursery yesterday to start getting all of the trees. And for those of you that follow my videos for the house renovations, I'm going to do a go live tomorrow or Tuesday and I'll get that scheduled so you'll get the notifications for the progress of the land clearing and how everything looks inside. So stay tuned for that. When you get that notification, don't forget to hit the button. And while we're at it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button. To start off, what's the perfect martini? Well, everybody's different. I'm a fan of the dirty martini without the dirty. So my recipe is very, very simple. Take the martini shaker, put about 6 ice cubes in it, pour in Grey Goose, no vermouth because it's gross. Fun fact though, if you have a traditional martini, there are 2 different types of vermouth. There's a sweet vermouth and a dry vermouth. And actually, the sweet vermouth is what's the most common, but that is not what is supposed to go in a martini. It's supposed to be the dry vermouth. Fun fact for you. And, of course, 3 blue cheese olives. You can pick any olives you want. Shake it up real good and pour it. I like to put the olive juice in afterwards because you can always add more in. You cannot take it out. And if you've ever had a dirty martini that makes you go, oh my God, like one sip and you can't take your rings off, you understand. So add a little bit as you go, and cheers, the perfect martini. So I am sitting outside in our small garden that we have started already. And so directly behind me is all of the stuff that Lovey has planted either from seed or from plants. This plant directly behind me right here is one that we bought yesterday at Al's Fruit Trees in Miami, Florida. And it is a Jaboticaba, and I know I'm butchering that name. I can't seem to get it right, but it is a fruit that tastes just like Fruit Loops. Very delicious, apparently. I have not had one, but Lovey says they're amazing. And when we were talking to Al the other day at the fruit farm, or at the fruit tree place, he did say that they go for about $20 a pound, but you can never find them because people like eat them or sell them as quickly as they come around. So with that, I'm going to give you a minute, go make your drink, and then we will go take a look at what we've got going on. Cheers. This is our garden as it stands now, and these are the 2 newest additions that are actually on the property. Now, as I said earlier, we did actually go to Pine Island Nursery and we purchased 36 new fruit trees, and they are set to be delivered. We got wrapped up in the excitement and forgot to actually schedule a delivery, but she's going to call us and we'll figure all of that out. So these are the 2 trees. Again, we got at Al's Fruit Farm. Al's Fruit Trees. And this first one is a Navel Orange, and it is in a 45-gallon bucket. Now, we did learn, fun fact here for you, write this down if you're in the market for fruit trees. This is a 25-gallon. This is a 45-gallon. There's a major price difference between the 2, but generally the difference is about a year in growth. So for this one, the Navel Orange that we have, you can see that there are a lot of oranges already on it. You can see a ton of buds on here. This one right here is what made me want this tree. There's probably about 50 different buds on there. So obviously this year during this season, we will have some fruit, and then we're going to leave it in the pot for this year. Now you can transplant it and it will be fine, but because there is so much fruit already, we don't want to shock the plant. And as you can tell from the ground, we are in South Florida. very heavily sugar sand, so we're gonna have to make sure we use really good fertilization when we do put it in the ground. So we're gonna wait until the fall to actually plant it so that we can get the most yield this year. Going forward, we'll probably have about 100 navel oranges just from this one tree. Now, for a reference point, this 45-gallon pot right here was $400. And there is no, that's retail. There's no discounts. There's no nothing on that like that. So that's the navel orange. By comparison, the 25-gallon is only $200. So there's definitely a huge price difference. Now with the Jaboticaba, and again, I know that I am butchering that name here, but this is a very interesting tree. So the way that this tree fruits is not traditional. There will not be any fruit that comes in on the actual leaves. All of the fruit will come in on the bark of the tree, and it'll come all the way up here. And as the tree continues to get larger, and they will get very large, that fruit is little balls, probably about that size, that will come up and you pick them off. Now the skin is very hard and it's apparently not delicious. Again, I have not tried it, but it is going to be, the inside juice tastes like Fruit Loops. This particular tree, it is the purple variety. There's a red variety and a purple variety. And this one will take 7 to 15 years of maturity before the fruit will start coming in. The estimated age of this tree, based on the size of the trunk, is about 7 years. So we should start seeing fruit within the next couple years. But the excitement level, it's all there for this one. Over here, we have the garden that we started, and we have 3 or 4 different varieties of tomatoes. Now the first one that we've got over here, and Lovey keeps picking them off, are the tiny little tomatoes. And you can see, they're not gonna get much larger than that. Over here, you can see the red. So all tomatoes are green until they do in fact turn red, but that's gonna be where they are full size. So these are the tiny ones. I'm not a fan. We probably will not plant these again because they are so small, but they are fun and they produce very, very heavily. This is the passion fruit, and we actually got this passion fruit at a Home Depot. This pot right here is a 7-gallon, and it will generally run you about $40. Both at a nursery or a Home Depot or a Lowe's. But passion fruits are one of my favorite. They are the plant that will vine and cover everything. You do have to be careful where you plant passion fruit because it will completely take over. If we left this alone, within a couple months, all of those little branches right there will completely cover and wind its way over here. So you have to have some kind of trellis system for it to go over. The most popular and where we had a lot of success before was on a fence, and it'll just run along the fence. The flowers are beautiful and the fruit is delicious. So over here are the tomatoes that we've got growing. Again, tomatoes, you need to make sure that you have some kind of trellis or way that they can grow up to make them the most successful. These are a combination of Big Boys. It's the name of them. Pretty fun. And you can see that they get really bunchy in there. The flowers indicate that that's where another bud will come out, and that's how you know you're about to get some tomatoes. And then this one over here, see if I can get a good angle. You can see very large. So within the next couple, I'm gonna say probably days to week, we are gonna have a lot of red tomatoes. When you have outdoor gardens, you need to make sure that you're watching it every day. We had a beautiful red one today that a bird got to. Put netting over it or just be very vigilant. Now, this over here is one of my favorite things. So this is romaine lettuce. And we did not plant these from seeds. The romaine lettuce plugs that we buy, the organic lettuce from Costco or Whole Foods or wherever you buy your groceries, if you cut it off at the bottom, and you can see right here, that's just barely put in the ground. If you plant it in good soil and water it, it will grow to this. These were all plugs that were put in. It is amazing, and it tastes so fresh. The taste is very potent. I mean, it's just such a difference. I love it. The other thing that you can do plugs with is over here, and that's the celery. Same thing, we always use the organic ones, and you can chop off the bottom. You can see some of the newer ones that we have here. Chop them off, put them in good soil, and eventually they will grow to this. This is a plug that we planted and has come back. That is a very thick stalk. Now, I did this for years in apartments and different houses, but I never put them in really good soil. And you'll get stalks, but like the thickest stalk I ever got was probably about like this. If you put it in that good soil, you will get full, thick celery. I think the biggest thing that we've learned about any kind of gardening is soil conditioning. So when we had the property before this, we bought a whole bunch of plants, bought a whole bunch of flowers, and we didn't really condition the soil the way that we have with this batch right here. And I think that's the biggest thing. No matter what type of soil you have, you've got to make sure that you have the right balance, that you have enough drainage. It has taken so much research to figure out what plants require what drainage and what needs a lot of water, what doesn't need a lot of water. And one thing that we have done is separate out plants based on the amount of water that they require. So if it needs a lot of water every day, we've put those together and set up a watering system. And then the ones that don't need as much, we've set those up as well. So that is really the key to any gardening at all. From everything we've learned over the last 10 years is soil conditioning and getting the right water amount. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for Martinis and Gardening. I would love to hear your comments below. If you have any questions, please make sure that you comment. Again, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I will talk to y'all soon. Have a great week.